Joining us now from Arlington, Virginia, is a Dr. Veronique de Rugy. She is the George Gibbs Chairwoman in Political and Economy and Senior Research at the Mercatus Center, which is a libertarian think tank. I think I have that all right, all that, Doctor. You're at George Mason University in Virginia. They don't fund you, but that's where your office is, right? Am I so far?
Yes,
Do
no,
I have
you're
it?
exactly correct, unlike many people
Okay.
about that.
So when you're watching this from afar, not too far, you're right across the Potomac. Is Trump doing anything wrong here, in your opinion?
Listen, I was excited to see something I was not expecting with the election of President Trump, is that government spending was going to be, and cutting government spending in waste, fraud, abuse was going to be elevated to such a high national level. And that's a good thing. I mean, in the last 8 years, we haven't talked about cutting spending. As you've laid out, we should be really concerned about it. And it's been on the back burner. No one is scared. And certainly the Department of Government Efficiency has elevated the profile of this, especially. I think it is important. And finally, in 2025, someone is looking at improper payments, 95% of it, which are overpayments. And we're talking, it's like, like improper payment is $236 billion a year. And fraud, actual fraud,
Absolutely.
which
And
is
nobody disputes
according,
that, by the way. Nobody
sorry?
disputes it. No one disputes what you're saying. They just don't like Elon Musk.
Yes. And so, I mean, and it's worth I was actually shocked by these numbers. Improper payment I had been following, but fraud, only what I know, and has been projected in 2023 could have been north of $500 billion. This is not nothing. And this is something that should be non-controversial, going after this. And
Why do
when
you
you
think
think
why
that
do you think it's controversial? Why is Elon Musk controversial?
I think right now everyone is so polarized that whatever it is Trump or Musk do, I mean, people are against it if you're going to be against something. But it's not controversial. I mean, the Government Accountability Office puts out reports about improper payments and about fraud. And fraud, obviously, they tell you this is only what they know. And the
Yeah.
problem,
Wait till they get into the Defense Department and the Department of Education. Oh my God. Wait till they see that. But we have now the Democratic Party pretty much opposing the Doge office, and they're using civil liberties, classified information, they're using all that. But they don't want this. And historically, ever since World War II, Democrats have run on entitlements, major spending. They're not the cutback party, where the Republicans used to be the fiscally responsible, but then they, after 9/11, forget it. The Republicans went into the spending spree. And now it seems like the GOP wants to come back a little. Is that your assessment?
I didn't hear your last sentence.
Is that your assessment that the
Yeah,
GOP? Go
yeah,
ahead.
it's my assessment. But I think we need to be careful in making a difference between what is improper payment and fraud and what we call waste. Because in a way, if you think about it, waste is in the eye of the beholder, right? I mean, a lot of the government spending that you and I may call waste, actually there's a special interest behind it, and there's a politicians who could justify it and says this is why I think we should be doing this, and this is not at all waste, right? And this is where I think that the Dodge people may run into a little trouble if they don't do more explaining about why they consider that some of this
That's a
spending
good point. That's a good
is
point. But
waste.
when you see $50 million going to Burma for some kind of DEI program, Americans are not going to get back. Nobody's going to be able to explain that. I know what it's about. It's
I
about
agree with you,
bribing the
but
government there.
like this has been legally appropriated by Congress, right? I mean, that said, I mean, I guess I should rephrase
No, they didn't
that.
appropriate that
Considering
money.
the agencies,
They didn't appropriate. They gave the money to the USAID, but they didn't say give it to Burma. That's what people don't understand. Congress doesn't
you're correct.
micromanage the spending. Okay,
You're absolutely correct.
The heads of the departments, they tell the people where the money's going. Congress just gives them the lump sum. Last word on this. I think this is hurting the Democratic Party. I think most Americans are willing to overlook some of Elon Musk's pomposity if he can get results. But the Democratic Party is going all in to try to discredit the whole thing. I think that's a mistake. Your opinion?
I think it's a mistake that they're not working along with Musk, because I think it should be non-controversial that we have an enormous debt problem. And
Right.
it's also should be non-controversial that there's a lot that needs to be done. And by not working, by just being adversarial, they're not preventing some of the problems that Musk may be having. Like, for instance, there's like he put out a table on Social Security being paid to a lot of people that probably have been dead for 150 years. And some serious analysts have said it's weird because it doesn't actually quite, not that they weren't trusting Musk's finding, but they were wondering whether some of it was his team's not understanding the way things were reported. There's a lot of collaboration that could exist to actually make this government run better. And by just being adversarial, we're not doing things that the American public deserves.
I agree 100%, Doctor. Well said. Thank you for helping us out. We appreciate it very much. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on X. Look for @Bill O'Reilly.